Hey everyone, it's Sarah Lynn from Craft Direct. Check out this video and I'm going to show you how to make this cute Easter card. I just used a simple watercolor background and some die cut bunnies.
We're going to start by creating the background for our card. I'm using a heavyweight watercolor cardstock and a set of watercolors. Any set of watercolors will do, as well as any color combination. Start by adding some water to your colors and just gently brushing it across the cardstock. I chose to go with darker olive and orange colors, but you could choose any color combo that you like. Keep adding more paint and water until you get the look that you like. I chose about 3 different orange colors and kept brushing them across the cardstock. The more water you add, the lighter the color is going to be, so I tended to go back and added a little bit more pigment. This is a fun technique to experiment with, as you really can't do it wrong, and it turns out different every time. At the bottom when I made my grass, I just did a little bit of stippling with my brush. Now I'm going to paint a little bit more onto a separate piece of watercolor paper. I'm going to go back and use this paper later on for die cutting parts of the carrot. To die cut the bunnies, I'm using my Big Shot machine and the Carrot Bunny die set by Sizzix. I'm going to start by running the bunny through my Big Shot machine onto a piece of cream cardstock by Basil. Repeat this step 2 more times so you have 3 bunnies total. I'm going to cut the bunny out 1 more time, this time out of a piece of white craft foamy material. I'm going to adhere it to one of the bunnies to give the middle one a little bit of dimension. The bunny's face is a separate die cut, so I'm going to place that onto the cardstock bunnies and use a little bit of washi tape to keep it in place. Die cut the face out of all 3 pieces of the cardstock bunnies. You will not need to do that on the foamy bunny. Now we're going to die cut out the carrot pieces out of the watercolor paper that we made earlier. There's a background and a foreground to the main carrot piece, as well as the green carrot tops. Now we're going to cut out a little square of black cardstock to place behind the bunny's face where we die cut it. The square is about a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. I just hand cut it with the scissors and made sure it fit behind the bunny's face. This way we can see the eyes, mouth, and nose a little bit better. Use a glue pen to apply a little bit of glue to the back of the bunny around the facial features. Then glue down your little black square. Do this to all 3 of the bunnies. Next we're going to apply a little bit of liquid glue to the white foamy bunny. The liquid glue works better with the foamy material. Then I'm going to place the cardstock bunny on top of the foam one, making sure not to glue down his arms. Now I'm going to lightly distress the edges of each of the bunnies with antique linen distress ink. The bunny's cheeks and inside of his ears are also a separate die cut in the set. I decided the best way to do this was to watercolor a little scrap of watercolor cardstock again in a lightish orange pink color. I die cut it 3 times so each bunny has the 2 cheeks and the 2 inner ear pieces. Now comes the tedious part, gluing on these tiny little pieces. Again, I used a glue pen to adhere them. I would highly recommend using a tweezer if you have it on hand. It's easier to grasp the little pieces. Do this for all 3 of the bunnies. Next I'm going to use a glue pen to adhere the carrot pieces together. I'm going to apply the darker carrot piece to the lighter colored one, and then the green carrot tops on top. Next I'm going to adhere the bunnies to the front of the watercolor backdrop. But first I'm going to lay them out to see just how I want them to look. I put the dimensional one in the center. I used a glue pen to adhere the 2 cardstock bunnies down, and the liquid glue to adhere the bunny down that has the foam backing. Be careful not to glue down the bunny's arms, as we want them to look like they're holding the giant carrot. Now I'm going to use a black dye ink pad to stamp the Happy Easter sentiment onto my carrot. The Happy Easter is from the Avery L set Seasonal Simple Sentiments. Now I'm going to use a glue pen to adhere adhesive just to the center of the carrot and place them onto the bunnies. I put the arms on the outside so they look like they're holding the carrot. Lastly, I got out my craft cardstock base, folded it in half, and adhered our finished product to the front of the card. And your beautiful handmade card is ready to be sent out to someone special.
Thanks for watching and have a happy Easter. For more project ideas, go to craftstrack.com/projects.